let us welcome the sixth speaker. The sixth speaker is Ms. Haruka Terada.
Her speech title is Never Burn Out, Just Burn. Never burn out, just burn. So, Ms. Terada, please come up to the stage.
Thank you, the Master of Ceremonies, distinguished judges, and all the organizers. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Since I was a freshman, there has been an activity that I'd been extremely addicted to. English speech activity. After I joined the speech section, I overworked without sparing time for sleep. However, one day last spring, I lost all my passion and motivation without any warning. I began to hate speech activity, which I used to love. It was burnout syndrome. Burnout syndrome is an occupational phenomenon in which a person who has been immersed in a job causes extreme mental exhaustion. In modern society, about 82% of people had experienced this syndrome, according to a survey of Robert Walters Group Company, and I was no exception. So today, I would like to talk about the danger of burnout syndrome and the way to prevent it. I hope that this speech will help you never burn out, but just keep burning in your working fields, which means to keep working stable. To begin with, let's continue my burnout story. After I lost all my motivation against speech activity, my speech life dramatically changed for the worse. Being absent from daily speech activities for 3 months, doing a terrible performance at the speech contest due to my lack of preparation, and behaving rudely to my seniors, saying, "I wish I hadn't joined the speech section." You see, I suffered from a lot of unexpected behaviors, which were the very symptoms of burnout syndrome. 1, emotional exhaustion, feeling terribly tired and losing motivation against a job. 2, the great sense of personal accomplishment, a sudden drop in working performance and a corresponding drop in sense of its accomplishment. 3, depersonalization, being hurtless and inhuman to others. As you can see, burnout syndrome deteriorated my health condition, working performance, and human relationships. Everyone, please imagine that this happened to you. Isn't it vain to lose motivation to feel you've been working hard on? Isn't it sad to come to hate your favorite job, schoolwork, or club activity? For me, it was extremely painful, so I don't want anyone to experience it. Instead, I want everyone to enjoy each working life without burnout. With this strong desire, I started researching a lot about burnout syndrome and decided to prevent it, to never repeating the same tragedy. So, what are the concrete causes of burnout syndrome? According to Mr. Herbert Freudenberger, who is an advocate of this syndrome, making too much effort work is the main cause, and I define it as overworking in this speech. Then, what causes the overworking? According to Mr. Mako Tsukubo, a researcher of burnout syndrome at Tsuda University, there are mainly 2 causes. First, as an individual cause, people with too high ideals are likely to overwork and burn out, and I define it as unrealistic ideals. Second, as an environmental cause, people in the following working environment are likely to overwork. That is, an environment with overburdened, excessive quota setting, and long working hours. And I define it as a tough environment. Looking back on my speech life last spring, I found a lot of causes that apply to these elements. I was setting an unrealistic ideal to pass all the elimination contests while working as an executive chairperson of another contest. I was in a tough environment, holding 3 positions in my speech section. As a result, there was no way I could avoid overworking, writing 3 speeches while having huge tasks. Like this, overworking, unrealistic ideals in a tough environment suddenly cause burnout syndrome. However, in other words, we can prevent it by avoiding these 3 tips. Wait, overworking, unrealistic ideals in a tough environment. O-U-N-T. Oh, you know this? Yes, to avoid burnout, we must remove O-U-N-T from lives so that we can just keep burning. Burn out minus out equals burn. This is the principle I had found through my experience. So everyone, please avoid overworking, unrealistic ideals in a tough environment to prevent burnout syndrome. To do this, I would like to suggest 2 things that we can do, both on a small scale and a large scale. The key points come with both are ability and capacity. First, at a small scale, as an individual, please set realistic ideals, which is based on your working ability and capacity. Is this ideal commensurate by ability? Can I achieve this ideal with my capacity? By considering these things with my senior, who had taken care of me a lot, I could set a new realistic ideal objectively. As a result, the gap between my ideal and reality became smaller, and I could avoid overworking. Next, as a large scale, as a team or an organization, please set a good working environment which is based on team members' working ability and capacity. According to ASNA, a famous work management company, setting a quota and positioning system based on team members' working ability and capacity is so important for large-scale burnout prevention. Does this quota match her capacity? Is this position suitable for her ability? By considering these things and changing the positioning system in my speech section as a chief, I am able to avoid overworking. Of course, hoping my members never to overwork in the future. Half a year has passed since I started avoiding OUNT. Now, had I made the same mistake again? Of course not. Instead, I'm here in front of you today without burnout. Just like me, I hope that avoiding overworking, unrealistic ideals in a tough environment will help you to prevent burnout syndrome in the future. I wish you all never burn out, but just burn in your precious working fields. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Terada. Now, we have a question and answer session. Mr. Kubota, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Haruka-san.
Thank you.
My first question, you talked about burnout syndrome.
Yes.
But when I hear this word, I imagine like after achieving a huge goal, then we have like we can't find the next goal and then become burnout.
Yes.
But why did you just focus on the situation, giving up something in midway?
Thank you for your question. I don't focus on the situation only when people give up, but I focused on both situations in this speech, yes.
Well, okay. My next question is, suppose you, I will ask 2 questions. Number 1, as an individual.
Yes.
And the next one is as a team manager.
Yes.
Number one, okay, suppose you were the CEO of a startup company and you are an entrepreneur,
Yes.
and today 2 of the judges are entrepreneurs, and you have to work hard 24/7 to launch the business and to stabilize it, and no matter how hard it is, you can't stop. Once you quit, your business stops, your company stops, and there is a risk of going bankrupt for you. So there is no such excuse at burnout syndrome. You have to work hard. What would you do in that case?
Okay, thank you for your question. Firstly, I want to say that avoiding OUT doesn't mean to compromise, and I want to state that thing. And in that situation, to answer to your question, I would, even in such situation, I would prevent burnout syndrome because, of course, launching the business is so difficult and, it requires a big effort, but launching a business is not a goal. It's just like a start, right? So I think if I had overworked too much to reach the goal of launching the business, someday in the future I success it, I may burn out in the future. So thinking about my business as a long term, not just a short term, I think that to avoid working too much regarding my ability and capacity is so important, and I would do like that.
Okay, great. Maybe my last question, and what will be my second part as a team manager.
Yes.
Suppose you are the coach of the high school baseball club.
Yes.
And the extreme goal for them, the ultimate goal, is to be a champion at Koshien, right?
Yes.
All the other schools, although it might be unrealistic, have that goal to win the Koshien. And all the members in other schools practice very hard every day, even until late at night. So they are in nearly an OUT situation.
Yes.
But now you are the coach of a school, the high school baseball club. And what kind of goal would you set? And how would you manage the team? You need to fight with the other schools, hardworking schools, and you need to win. How would you manage the team?
Okay, thank you for your question. Firstly, I would ask the team members, students, what kind of goal they want to achieve, and I want to respect it. And talking about the goal, which finishes at that time, which isn't a long term, Koshien is a kind of event that ends at the time, right? And most of the players may leave the club at the time. So I think that if the student says, we want to win at the Koshien, I will respect him. And thinking about the situation that Koshien is not the start, but the end of their school life, I would respect it. And I don't want to force them to practice so much, but I would ask them to, whether I would plan the practice schedule which can achieve such goal. Thinking about the term of that working life, yes.
Okay, time's come. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kubota and Ms. Terada. Please go back to your seats.